Now, okay, so Gene's here, everyone, for the weekly digest. And he has a couple people that he wants to thank for the laptop, which he should have gotten by now, but I guess they're making it from scratch. So do you have the names, or you want me to read the names?
Could you read them, please, Kirsten?
Okay, so they're not like, every donation, no matter how small or how large, we really appreciate it. So Melissa M., Janet Proffer, Deanna Sloper, Julie Haley, Bonnie Schneider, Lisa Perkins, Wayne Newell, Connie Bromley, Mike Rosie, Linda W., and Lauren McMullen. Some of you guys are from Canada, and we really do appreciate it. Right, Gene?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. It's going to allow me not to have to stay up all night. I've done 4 days in a row.
Yeah, and why is it taking so long? Ask Rick. No idea.
A slow boat from coming on the back of a mule, I think.
Is it made here, or is it made in China?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Apple. That's an Apple product, correct?
Yes.
So they're probably putting it together. Hopefully you're getting your separate mic and speakers that you want. So whatever special stuff you need, you should just order all at one time. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to cover a little bit of news with you while you're here. And here is a video of Operation Gridlock in Michigan, which I'll play the video. I'm so paranoid about playing the music now because I got a strike. Never got a strike before. Look at all the 30,000 cars that are fighting Gretchen, whatever her name is, W, whatever her last name is. And the governor of Michigan is, of course, paid for and donated to by incarnate evil George Soros. Look at all the cars. This is from drone video in Lansing, Michigan. They're about to do the same thing in Austin and here in Florida because we want to get back to work before the whole economy gets squashed. Look at all the cars. You can see, right, Gene? You can see.
Oh, yes.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so that being said, let me go through a few news items because I'm covering this with Gene. Yeah, we have New York padded 3,000 deaths for COVID-19 because Medicare is giving 13,000 to all the doctors that want to say their patients admitted are COVID-19 and 39,000 to put them on a ventilator. When you're on a ventilator, it already means you're on your way out. And I want to warn you against the George Soros drug that he bought called Remdesivir that is the alternate cure for COVID-19 that they created. This gives you delusions and what do we call it? You have what do you call that when you're on what's that drug? When hallucinations. There you go. And of course, Harvard University CIA is totally exposed now. And yes, we have Amazon lost the job to Microsoft from the Pentagon. And Kentucky, now you need photo IDs. And now we have all these states that are supposed to have be padding all their numbers. New York, Maryland, Connecticut, Ohio, and Delaware padding COVID-19 deaths, and they're hoarding medical equipment, and that didn't work. And of course, that Virginia governor is dropping all the things. Okay, shall we start? Shall we start now with your news?
Sure, Kirsten.
Okay, which one shall we go to first? Shall we go to the dumb decodes first?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go to the dumb decodes, and I'm going to open it right now. It opened before, so it should open again. And Gene's going to go from here, so I can stop talking. That would be. Okay,
so what this is just what's actively being fought for right now. In the last 24 hours, this is ongoing operation, so people need to pray and help the White Hats with their prayers to make sure that the White Hats come out on top of this. So this is a list of ongoing dumb takeouts, and this was compiled by TCB and High Vibratory Photography, who are my editors now. So they help me research and compile things. So in California, at that latitude, longitude, Bodie, and you can see the picture there of the area. And so quite often when you have these dumps, you have this kind of like dirt piles and things of the stuff that comes out, where they have to get in, and at the beginning, before the machine starts turning it into a glass wall. And then of course, China Lake, which is ongoing, that runs all the way up originally, and that now is going up into the Ridgecrest tunnel system. So that's ongoing, continually going further and further up north, in which they had rescued the children from that huge spark gap grid, like I stated earlier in my original Decode. And that was the operation was called Mission Capable for that, capable to get the children out of there, although it's such a massive number. And then Little Lake, which is that latitude and longitude, that is in Idaho. And Cascade, also in Idaho. That is ongoing. They went from Twin Falls, and now they're worked their way down to Cascade. And you can see the line that shows you how the dump tunnel runs there. And of course, that's following, strangely enough, it just happens to be following that power line system there. It's interesting. Also, the Tennessee, and in Tennessee, I'm sorry, we got a misspelling here. My guy had been up all night. He was starting to see cross-eyed. He's tired. He doesn't do like I can do, where I can go 2 or 3 days up at once. He's like up 2 days. He's going cross-eyed. So it's at that latitude and longitude at Tiptonville, where they're taking out another dump there. There's a map of the area. And that's a Google Earth picture of the area. And he's outlined where the dump is for people that don't know or can't figure it out. It shows it really quite well.
Wow.
Kirsten's getting high tech. She can do pictures.
Yeah, not that high.
And then Texas at that latitude, longitude, they've been doing this one for quite a while. It's a mess down there. It's really, really difficult. So we really need to pray to help the special forces down there to finally get this done. In the Pecos up there in the corner of Texas, on that jutting off right at the border near Oklahoma.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
My guy that does the magnets and all that Tesla technology, he said that the White Hats have control of the Los Alamos labs.
Wow. Didn't know about that one.
Yeah, he said they have control of Area 51 and the Los Alamos labs, because they're doing a lot of stuff from the Los Alamos labs. So maybe our chemtrails might be down, huh? Less chemtrails.
Because Area 51 and Area 52, which is Dugway Proving Ground in Salt Lake, they've gotten control of that. So that's completely cleaned. I didn't know about Los Alamos, because Los Alamos ties to everything. It ties to Dulce, it ties to Sandia Labs, it ties all the way down. It goes all the way down to the Carlsbad and the White Sands.
Yeah, he's an expert, and he does all the Tesla technology, and he confirmed over and over that it's been taken over by the Patriots.
That's stunning. I'll have to look into that.
News before Rick gets it. Thank you. Okay.
So the other parts of the world, we're doing JSOC. General Milley announced that we're not going to allow them to come in through our country, and they're not launched an entire naval fleet and the cartels, and that means not just drugs, because of course the drugs means children, it means human trafficking as well. So the Pinellas that you see here in Colombia, JSOC went down there, the Joint Task Force of the Navy, Air Force, Marines, and the reservists that they called up are going in and taking us out.
Okay. That's the same thing, right?
Yes, and then the next one is in Fiji. You remember Fiji water? Fiji is the
Oh,
like,
that's the best water, Fiji water.
yeah, but it's also the best place on earth that's left at this time for child trafficking. It's huge. It's underneath the Fiji water plant. And so they're taking that huge dump that's lots and lots of children down there. They're taking that out. It's a huge trafficking area, pretty much worldwide. If you think any of these small islands, think children, that they are abusing children there. It's all over the place. It's almost every island on earth that's a smaller island that especially if the British monarchy ever had anything to do with it. Then in Greece, they're doing Komnina. You can see the latitude, longitude location there. And that's a very linked facility, which is why they're doing that. It connects to a lot of different places. So they do the hubs first, and then they work their way out from the hubs because it allows them to cut trafficking coming in. In Indonesia, again, he's tired. We can see what those colors.
Indonesia.
Yeah, we have, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. I don't speak Indonesian, so
I do. Nadu
okay.
Loda. Nadu Loda.
Okay, that's what it is. At that latitude and longitude, and again, that's children. So they're way into getting the children as well as Narang at that latitude and longitude. All of this is Indonesia. They're working.
I think it's not orang. It's O-R-A-N-G, orang. Orang in Indonesian means people. Or O-R-A-N-G, orang.
Yeah, he may have misspelled that. He was pretty cross-eyed by the time he got we could see with Papua New Guinea. And I spelled it to him phonetically, Navy-wise, like, Papa Alpha, Papa, Uniform Alpha. I was spelling stuff to him. He was too tired. They know not to tax him. He can't do it. That's a Taran there. And that's also a submarine facility where they come up with submarines and come in there, as you can see with the shelf. Then in Kimby, at that latitude and longitude, well, of course, children, you got another small island, so they love to do the stuff on islands. And then in Turkey, we have Kurgagak at that latitude and longitude. That's being under combat right now for that between the white hats and the black hats. So when you look at earthquakes, what you want to look for is if you see P waves or not. Natural earthquakes always have P waves. If they have, especially you have a large earthquake and there's no P wave, and if you're sitting on your porch and you suddenly get knocked out of your chair, that's not the way earthquakes work. They roll, and you can see the earth actually roll and hear it thrum or vibrate. It doesn't suddenly go boom and you're knocked out of your chair. It's a dumb
explosion. Yeah, that's an explosion. It's not an earthquake.
Yes. In Japan, we have Iwaki, and that's Japanese submarine tunnel entrance going into the submarine facility there. And in Russia, this is it goes up into Petropavlovsk. That's their big submarine base. It goes all the way up underneath that, comes out the other side into the ocean on the other side. It's big for their submarine facilities. And in Kursk, also is part of the same submarine tunnel system, and that's to get into the inlets of that ocean area. In Guam, of course, again, children, Yoni Village. Or Yona, sorry.
Okay, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so just a question. You
Yes.
said some of them we lost, and then we've gained some back.
Yeah, we lost Lassen, Mount Lassen, and that we've gained that one back.
And that's in California?
Yes. People don't realize that when you think and what you do, and if you pray or you don't pray, that energy actually helps fuel how things work. And so it literally, we, because we have souls,
Mhm.
or have the ability to create with our thought. And that's why the dark side and black magic shows you what they're going to do ahead of time to get you focused on it. So your thoughts create, because they don't have souls. They can't create. They have to use our energy through our thoughts and feelings and emotions. The way they get you afraid and get you terrified so that you will create their
Fear
different
is not from God, right? The Bible says fear is not from God. That's a weapon.
Exactly. Fear is from Satan.
Correct. Okay,
Yep.
so we're going into the war decode now, or shall we go into the Bush thing? Shall we go into the war?
Go into the Bush thing.
Go to the Bush thing. Okay.
So this is the actual indictment papers on Bush. And it does talk a little bit in here about tunnels, but if you watch the level of things he was involved with and who was involved with him, it's quite in depth. So
Okay.
it's not any question as to why he got lethal injection.
Okay, so go down.
Yeah, go down. And so I found it's best if you go to around page 10. It's where it picks up.
10. They're not even numbered, so I don't know.
So this is the application for the indictment and the affidavit. That's where they describe everything. And then you have the names.
Why are all these scratched out?
Because it would dox the persons.
Oh, so these are evil ones. They're scratched out.
No, not necessarily evil. It just means that those are people involved with the case. It could be defense attorneys. They could be investigators. And
okay, so keep going. Kids, keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's page 13 already.
Yeah, so here, keep going though.
Keep going, okay.
So here we're getting into the USC Code 15 and Code 18 and citing the specifics on what he was indicted. And here we go. This is the main body, and it enters the plaintiff and the defendants, and that he violated, amongst many things, concerning money laundering as a grand jury indictment for human trafficking underneath the Rico Act, like I said, Article 18 of the USC Code, and George Herbert Walker Bush. This is a formal memorandum of money laundering, racketeering, violation of the FCP and the change mining law as well. And it goes through the different things, for example, sedition involving Uranium 1, the Carlyle Group in South Africa, and what was called Eagle 2, which is drug trafficking, bringing things up, the Break Gold, the BHP Bulletin, all this involved with George Herbert Walker Bush. And this is all summoned in front of a tribunal of the grand jury, in which he, in South Africa, also violated mining laws there with the Clinton Foundation and the Barrick Gold Incorporated, and also in the country of Congo and in Tanzania.
Oh, it's Tanzania.
Tanzania, sorry. I've always my life pronounced it wrong. Thank you.
You know what it is? Americans, I hate to say this, Americans are really bad at geography.
I've actually pronounced it that way all my life.
Oh, really? It's Tanzania. They always also say, what is it? Qatar for Qatar. It's really Qatar. They always say Qatar.
That one I know. I've actually been to Qatar. That one I know.
Qatar. What is that? Okay.
And that's through Black Eagle Trust.
Okay.
And then we go into the Enron and that big mess that he did with Enron. He was involved with that as well. The files were kept on the 23rd floor of the World Trade Center. So, pretty obvious why that came down, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into Nevada and Montana and with Harry Reid, in which he was involved with in violations again of the Logan Act. And
why isn't Harry Reid in jail?
This is just for him at this time. And also involved was Nazi supremacist Richard Secord, General Secord, Thomas Fowler, Kevin Spacey, which is a real monster. He's nasty.
Kevin Spacey, the one that all of the witnesses were dead, murdered.
Yeah.
Not actor?
Yes.
No. Oh, the
Yes.
father of Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm. Arthur Schlesinger and Jim McCoy.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was the father.
Specific. And then, of course, we have Eagle 2 bankrolled by George Soros.
Oh, God.
Surprise there, huh?
Yeah, the bankrolls a lot.
Yeah. So financing arms trafficking, money laundering, going all the way back through strategic locations in Argentina, Chile, Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil. And continues on the Carlyle Group again through Montana, Arkansas, through the Black Eagle Trust with Peter Monk and where George Herbert Walker Bush was involved with Oliver North, Al Martin, Richard Secord again, Dewey Courage, Sam Watson, Fred Eichley, and his father as well. And then the Crossfire, which is, of course, Crossfire Hurricane. And that investigation, he was involved with that.
Wow.
Yep. Then he was also involved through Eagle 2, which is the farm. The farm is where they train the CIA, and they do a lot of Mark Ultra.
Yeah, that's in McLean, Virginia. That's where, what's her name was trained? Nellie Orr.
Yep. And Bruce, too. Her husband.
Bruce
and they
Orr.
hide black market drugs, also paraphernalia, child sex trafficking, and that also involved on the behalf of Michael Aquino.
Yeah, that one is a total child, pedophile child. I don't know. Is he a pedivore? He's a beast.
All of the above.
Satanist, yeah.
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
And then he was involved with covering up activities of the Majestic 12 involving black ops within the Bermuda Triangle area. And that's some of the FBI investigation papers on that specific thing involving the Bermuda Triangle area, which at that time they're talking about it being with drugs through what they called the Bermuda Triangle. And that involved also Richard Armitage and Lieutenant Colonel Robert Ferreira.
Okay, I have a question. You remember that Malaysia Airlines flight that disappeared? I heard that was taken down to some British island there, and all of the scientists, their information was taken, and they were all murdered. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so that's involved. This is involved with that too.
Yes, and this also involved the Special Forces and the Green Beret through Lieutenant Colonel Ferreira. So you have filthy Green Berets and black ops people, like the one that attacked me for my dumb Decode, Mr. Sawyer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That one that pretends to be against child trafficking, but he's probably a child trafficker.
Rescued kids on the border of Mexico, and 2 weeks later, the same kids are found on the black web being auctioned. He raped his own daughter and framed a guy and put him in prison and had him murdered.
And he's not in jail. And he was donated to by Mr. Controlled Opposition, Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's who set up V4CR for him, and they get small donations, about $80,000 a month, $5-10, and they split it. They don't even report it on their income tax either.
And Alex Jones is worth like what, 60 million?
Oh yeah, he's way up there. He's Mossad. And then again, we have, as mentioned before, right?
I know who that is. That's Aquino, isn't that Aquino?
Yeah, Aquino, Clinton Powell, James Baker III, the Clintons, and all the previously mentioned people.
Okay, so.
And it goes into the girls' club in Omaha and how they're doing escort services with little girls from the girls' club.
Omaha, Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's not a lot he wasn't involved in. My goodness, he was a total monster.
And what about the son? The son, was he involved in all of this too, or no? George Bush?
Not nearly as much, no. And then it goes into the Nebraska Federal Credit Union in Omaha, Nebraska, and the Venerable Boys Town Organization. Again, that's child molestation, pedophilia, and all that other things again. And then it goes through Larry King and his involvement with that, and Bush too. And they called it, that, and Cheney and John Sununu and Clinton, and where they rape children and do all these sick things. They show pictures of some of the stuff here involved. Keno's total monster.
And he's still out walking around.
Yeah, not for much longer. Things are coming down fast for him now.
His wife's a beast too.
And realize that if all this is on one indictment, then all these people that are cited in here, there's indictments with their name on it too. And they'll be taken to a grand jury as well.
Okay, so
now it's going into specifics where it says he swept away one conviction through 3 guilty pleas and 2 pending cases, and it's going into specifics. And that the attorneys are talking about how his actions, that he covered up the Iran-Contra as well, and talking about how Mr. Weinberger was involved in that. The pardon of Mr. Weinberger was the president and all that. It's tying in that in, and now it's tying in Monsanto and how Monsanto was involved with him and trafficking millions of dollars, and then Meryl Streep involved in it with, as well as David Geffen, Charlie Sheen, Jorge Borgilio, Marco Rubio.
Oh, Marco Rubio.
Yeah, getting the mafia in here too. Might as well get the mafia involved.
Okay.
And so this is all the specifics violations under 18 USC in 1962 and 18 USC 1117 and 1956 Section H. And it's going into the specifics of the Clinton Foundation involving Uranium-1 in this section of the indictment. And then it's talking about different cases that are precedents here. Marbury versus Madison. So that's the meat of the indictment. And you can find this, people, it's not very hard to find this. All you have to do is go on DuckDuckGo or a search engine and put George Herbert Walker Bush indictment.
Was it done in Arkansas though? Why Arkansas instead of any other state?
Clinton Foundation.
Oh, okay, Mena, Arkansas. Okay, that makes sense. That's when they grabbed all the paperwork from the offices. Yep. In the plane that flew there. Okay, I'm glad we're done with that one. Was good. I like to whip through it. Okay, so that one's done. So we're off to the war decode or the 5G towers.
Let's do the war decode, and we'll see if we have time for the 5G.
The 5G is not the.
We'll just show the 5G. It's just a picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
So I did this decode on the war that's ongoing. The Illuminati's their slaves are revolting worldwide, and so the slaves are us are no longer bowing down to their ancient control system of murder, lie, bribery, treachery, treason, satanic rituals, sexual abuse, sacrifices, and horrors. That only the most evil things on earth are in creation could possibly imagine. And they call themselves the Olympians or the Illuminati or the wise men of Sion. And they worship the false god Satan. You got incoming information. Sorry about the sound there, Kirsten. There's all kind of links here. And it goes into the plan, and the plan was started out as a 3-inch binder that to take down. The plan is to take down the cabal, the satanic cabal that was started by Nikola Tesla, Robert Van de Graaff, the Trump brothers, which is Frederick and Donald, Donald's father, and John, his uncle, who worked for Tesla and later for Van de Graaff. And now it's all the way up through the very patriotic generals. That now it's up to a 12-inch binder that is the most strategic thing ever planned in the history of the world, and it's based off of Sun Tzu's Art of War, so that every contingency and countermove the enemy is figured ahead of time. That anything they could do, and this is the different people.
Who's that?
So on the far left is Van de Graaff, in the middle is Howard Hughes, on the right is Nikola Tesla, when he was a young man. And then below that, we have Frederick and John Trump. Frederick on the left, John on the right.
Oh, wow.
And this brilliant plan, it has a series of moves in which it started with the greatest dissemination of information ever accomplished in the world. It started out on 4chan as Make a Q in early 2014 when God called me off my back porch and told me to go to the computer. I saw the first post. And then it switched to 8chan at 28 October 2017, and the Q board, or the QAnon board, started. And they then selected it at 2016, what I think is going to be the greatest general and brilliant person the world has ever known, Donald J. Trump. And so he was elected, and he met with the ruler of the House of Solomon, and the LA shooting was a cover for trying to kill him.
You mean the Vegas shooting?
The Vegas. Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
That was a failed assassination attempt on Prince Solomon by dopey Prince Alawi.
Yes, and a failed attempt. They're trying to get him and Trump at the same time, because by doing that, they're taking out the largest pedophilia ring on earth and the largest side of the money for the cabal. And then the Trump has now taken out the United States corporate system by signing the ledger of the Virginia company. He took over the Virginia company at Westminster Abbey on 3 June 2019, meaning it was consecrated by the Holy Roman Catholic Church as well. The plan is to, originally the cabal's plan was to bankrupt the United States of America Corporation. And now they have the Fed as of October of last year at $1 trillion a day, buying back all their fake notes with real money, notes that are backed with silver or gold. And once it goes insolvent, it'll be destroyed. And it's already been rolled into the Treasury under Steve Mnuchin. And that's why a person tweeted, "Meet your new federal chairman, Donald J. Trump."
I want to thank the Treasury for my check I got yesterday, deposited straight into my account.
Wow.
And I want Gene to answer all of you nervous Nellies about this. You're saying you heard on some channel. I wish you wouldn't go to those garbage channels and listen to crap. The FEMA is not in charge of Trump, right?
Getting that in here, we're getting to that part. So he also has removed the funding from the WHO as well as the UN, and the links and all of that, specifics on that are there, and the dates. And he's taking out the black nobility of the House of Wetton, which is under the Moravian line of the Antichrist, which is the bloodline of Cain directly. That group attacked the Lee family because they thought that they were trying to take over everything. So that's why the COVID was supposed to be launched here first, but they launched it. They had lost all the switches here, so they launched it in Wuhan, China, and amplified it with 5G. So it is a virus, because I have people in Africa, that they have to walk 4 hours to email me, and they live because they don't even have 2G where they live, and people are walking down the road dropping dead. So, and then you have people in the same building, and some people get it, some people don't. So the 5G makes it way, way more contagious and lethal.
Yeah, because with that, it's from the gain and function where they can add on the AIDS, and they can add on the SARS, and they can add on the MERS. The electroporation from the 5G helps that.
Yeah, and then with Kirsten's source and another source I now have within China directly, I've verified this, that the reason Beijing, for example, never had hardly any cases, they only had 3 deaths they said were brought in, is if you have any conditions that show you have any illness at all, they just knock you in the side of the head, wrap you in tape, put you in a body bag, and burn you alive.
Right.
And quite a few links there about getting people burned alive. And also there's 21 million, the amount of cases, they're lying big time. There's 21 million phones in China that aren't working. And in China, you have a social credit score, you have to carry your phone. Because they have to track you, you have to use your phone every day. If those phones aren't working, those people are not on Earth. So CEO of the Colony Corporation, the constitutional United States, for America. He's been sworn under the correct Constitution, not the Constitution of America. He is now under the Constitution he's working as the president of the Constitution for America. So the military is now combined, and he's activated under the Safford Act that was signed into law in March. He activated that, which is a quarantine. They call under quarantine. It's actually martial law in all 50 states. And the military has been activated and called up 1 million reservists, which is Joint Service Operational Command. All the militaries are combined with the local marshals and police forces as well. And they've gone into Cheyenne Mountain, like General Milley said, stopping people, as well as they're taking out top Hollywood, Wall Street, Silicon Valley. Here's Ellen DeGeneres, or Alan. Alan.
Or Lady Boy Gaga. Lady Boy. Yeah.
And you can see the tracking bracelet on her left leg right there, along with her pedophilia shirt.
Oh, God.
And just to make sure you don't think it's a pack of cigarettes, it has pointy metal points. Packs of cigarettes don't have pointy metal points. Who carries it in your sock anyway? And here's Tom Hanks' nice, beautiful kitchen with white cabinets and green counters. Beautiful, big, huge kitchen.
What's that?
Another part of the dining room area. I mean, it's huge. It's still green counters, though. Wanting people to pay attention to that. Most of the kitchen, however, is white counters and green granite tops.
It said that he might be one of the Rockefellers. Remember I said, is it Michael?
Yes, he's a Rockefeller. He's a illegitimate Rockefeller. So here he is with his now very unhappy looking, what to me looks quite like a prison haircut or coming out of boot camp. He's a little old to be going out of boot camp.
Yeah, but they said that the real Tom Hanks might have been murdered and Michael Rockefeller replaced him. What do you think about that?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Okay.
There's this collection of typewriters. So remember his kitchen? What's this kitchen? This little tiny thing. He's on Saturday Night Live, and look in the back, the guy on the screen, what's that, monitoring? A whole bunch
wow.
CCTV monitors. What's that on the door? Is that a cipher lock? I don't know. It could be. I can't get the angle, but it's a kind of odd looking door for a little kitchen. Looks like it's made out of steel.
A whole different kitchen.
Mm-hmm. So, people can go read this. It's it's a post from 8 Coon. And now we have Oprah with a tracking bracelet as well. You can see her tracking bracelet. So Kirsten was right. She was arrested, people. Okay, she's under house arrest. That's her Boca Raton. The people that said that property, if you go to that link, that is her property. The people that said it was in Chicago, the guy that's saying that's a Rockefeller. Come on, people. And look at this. It's interesting. Here's Ellen DeGeneres, and they're both wearing the same kind of clothing. And you can see the tracking bracelet. What's that? Home prison wear? The same clothes on both of them? And then we have the pedal club Playboy Mansion now being dug up too, like Oprah's property, looking for tunnels.
Oh my God. I used to go there all the time. I
There
didn't want to go in the grotto.
Kristen.
I didn't want to go in the grotto because you could get an infection from that water. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
At the same time, states are seceding from the Union. California Governor Gavin Newsom has stated that they're now a nation state and that they would acquire the hospital supplies the federal government gave them and export them to any states as needed. In other words, if you flip and join us, we'll give you respirators.
Oh my God.
And then that's a link showing military hardware for those that don't think this has happened. It's not the FEMA camps activated for us. It's for them, people. And the trucks and all the military hardware is for them. That's General Milley talking about what they're doing. If they were going to do that, it'd have been done.
Yeah.
They'd have blitzkrieged this country. I've been in military ops. They don't play games. If that was what was really happening, you may see one person on a block taken out if they're Antifa or something, or Mark Ultra with End Times programming. programming. So if you're a civilian, stay out of the way. And this is to stop this entire thing by General Milley, the JSOC and all that is to stop the children and trafficking, the terrorists, the money laundering, the drugs, and all of that. And then different countries are using the COVID to increase the power of their governments, the ones that are still under cabal rule, like Israel and Bolivia. And they murdered, as a reprisal, the deep state murdered Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s granddaughter and his daughter.
Grandson, I think.
It says granddaughter in the link there.
Yeah.
Then Justin Trudeau, to show his color, said that we know where he's playing, who he's playing for, that they won't return to normal life until they get a vaccine. And he's actually the son of Fidel Castro. He murdered his own brother, the real son.
I exposed that a long time ago in the snow fight.
Yeah, and there's a link showing that Kirsten was correct. Okay.
Okay, there's for you Canucks. There you go. A. There you go.
You know how Canada got its name?
How?
They put a whole bunch of letters in a hat and they drew them out and they said C A N A D A.
They always say A, Canucks. There's some great patriots there, though. There's some great patriots there. Really.
Oh, they're amazing people. I've got TCB, the guy that did that previous Decode, is up in Canada. I now have people clearing emails for different countries. I get 400 a day. I can't keep up. So I've got a guy, he's almost ready to go online. I've got the person online for Australia, New Guinea, New Zealand, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. And I have a person getting ready to go online for Germany, because I get 50, 60 emails from Germany and anywhere that speaks German, and Bavaria, for example, in Austria. So, and then I'm getting a person getting ready in South Africa. And then I'll have a person in the West Coast. I'm working on a person in the middle of the US, and I'll have a person on the East Coast. So I'm splitting everything up. So if you email me now, I'll see it and I'll see the answers, but I'm training the people on how to answer and do all the things I do, the people that are nearly as awake as I am and have some medical knowledge, and then they do all the answering for me so I can do things like this.
Okay. And you know that you're locked in with me and Rick, right?
That's right.
before you get really famous and have your own company.
Yeah. I'm developing stuff all over the world. There's hardly any country on earth I haven't, other than Antarctica. I haven't heard people in Russia. I haven't heard somebody from Russia or Ukraine yet.
You forgot to mention you've got contacts in China now.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, there you go.
I also have contacts in the queue.
Oh, wow.
Somebody in the queue. Yeah.
That's awesome. One out of the 9. Q. Yeah.
So France and Bolivia and Peru are using the virus to increase their power. And the virus did originate in that lab at Wuhan due to a failed handoff. And China is just totally hiding it and trying to blame it on the United States complete and say it was us.
Yeah, because at the when they did it first in the lab in North Carolina, mm-hmm. the Americans wouldn't add that gain function. So that had to be added by the CIA Harvard professor, Charles Lieber, and he added the gain function, which added the other diseases on top of the COVID-19. That was done in China.
So, people, if you think, why is it that you have so many cases in Wuhan, and yet Shanghai or Beijing, in other words, is not that far away, and you only have almost 0 cases at all and only 3 deaths? It's because there you just get burned alive, because that's where their elites and the CCP and all of their economy is housed. And that's why it's never been in lockdown or anything, because they can't do that there, and they control everything. And so they just lie and say all kinds of things that they don't have any cases. But my guy's in there, and you can go to those links, and people testify about seeing the people thrown into furnaces, the body bags, and hearing them scream inside the furnaces. They start to burn.
Right.
That's how terrible they are. And so the ambassador for China said that we need to work together to save people's life and get a global community. In other words, global government, right?
Right.
That's what Bill Gates is saying. The same thing as so Kissinger.
Our lawyer friend contact in China, Gene and mine, is asking the question of me, which I don't know how to answer. All of them are getting locked down now. They won't be able to travel. They're taking their passports if they don't surrender them. They're making them null and void. How is our POTUS going to help them in China? And I have no answer because our POTUS is barely, is helping us, and we don't know how we're going to help them in China. And then I had a question for him stating that, Moss Kwok, which is, what's his name? What's his name?
Gui.
Mars Kwok, the donor to Steve Bannon, says that China is going to be free by June the 1st. Doesn't look like it's going to be happening from the CCP. So I
heard him saying that like 2 years ago, June the 1st this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope so, but I don't know. Sounds pretty. I mean, I know that the part of the reason they set off the virus in Wuhan, I mean, they had the lab there to do that. It was accidental, but because it was a handoff and the vial broke in the handoff and the guy got shot in the chest. But the plan was to do it there in the first place because all the people wearing pink that they were beating up and pulling, those are all Christians. And so they were actually starting to revolt in Wuhan. That's why they released it there.
And, all the diseases pretty much, including AIDS, is from vaccines. It's not from some monkey, and it's not from a bat in China.
Yeah, they developed, you can look up Congressional Budget Section 5, 1970, in which they funded $150 million joint research project to be done by the KGB, the MI6, and CIA at Fort Detrick in Maryland. And then look up Mark Naomi. That's the dissemination of that virus, which was in the T4, targets the T4, to be done at the world getting rid of what is it? My mind just went blank. They vaccinated all of smallpox to get rid of smallpox throughout all of Africa, and all those little tent cities they'd set up and vaccinate everybody, and all those people came down with AIDS. So the Asians are cracking down on the reporting of the AIDS cases. It's kind of bizarre because here they're pushing it up and there they're pushing it down. I mean, the U.S. are like, it's like everyone's going to die and all this. And then over there, they're like, nobody's getting anything.
And all the areas that have a lot of malaria cases have zero COVID cases because they've already had the hydroxychloroquine cure. So they're not catching the COVID at all.
Yep. So in Thailand and the Philippines and in Mongolia and other countries, they're stifling the news about the virus. And it's actually, they arrest you. In Philippines, they're taking people off the street and arresting them. So this is hybrid warfare, in which you have a virus that's activated and made way more powerful by 5G. And in this country, it's being torn out by the little vanges going around. And they put in a different 5G that's not made by Huawei or Apple. And then in other countries, they're going as fast as they can to put it in. So we're in full out war. So like Trump said, we built the greatest economy the world has ever seen, and we'll do it again. And so this was a warning that when I was on Rickshaw, I wrote it down later. So Trump said, we built the greatest economy in the world. I'll do it a second time. And so when I was on Rickshaw, the Spirit of God came to me, and this is to the cabal, to all the members of the satanic cabal and all those that serve the false god Satan. You have been violating the law of the one true God of all creation, and millions of humans are awake to your vast crimes against humanity. Go ahead and scroll up a little there, Kirsten.
Of course they are. There's 26 down points on Marina Abramovich.
Yeah.
They know.
Crimes against humanity ranging from slavery to child sacrifice and worse, and humans have said no more, the human race. You're going faster than I can read, Kirsten.
Okay. No more. Okay. This means.
This means that the previous consent in the court of the one true God that you gained through deception, lies, coercion, symbols, devious codes, and many other devious means have been revoked. These millions have awakened to the truth through the research of a few brave souls that you have tortured and killed and murdered. Thus, millions are now aware of the lies and corruption of the criminal acts that you have perpetrated upon humanity in the name of your false God in the court of the one true God of all creation. They have voted no, the human race. So your plan to destroy the world and kill and enslave humanity, your right to do so is now removed. Therefore, your plans for global domination in violation of human rights is removed and revoked. You must cease and desist now and face the legal justice of humanity. Otherwise, be warned that the full wrath of the Almighty God of all creation will be dealt upon each and every one of you that follows this course against humanity and earth. And so this is just from Judges. It's kind of a summary, and people can read that on their own.
Yeah, you can read this on your own. Yeah.
So I thought it was very applicable about what's going now, because a very few are taking a massive army of the cabal.
Right. And just use your computer and freeze it if you want to read it, because he has done an amazing job. What Rick is going to do in 5 or 6 episodes to compile it into one for me. And I really appreciate it, because I know everyone does not have hours and hours. Okay. For God and country, there you go.
Yeah.
Trump.
Trump with the armor of God. Said Psalm David, I waited patient for the Lord. He inclined me to hear and heard me cry. He raised me up out of the desolate pit and miry bog and set my feet upon a rock and my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth and praise to God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in God. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust and does not turn to those who and go astray and worship false gods. The best is yet to come. And that's a video you can watch. It's excellent. I highly recommend everybody watch that video. It's incredible.
I'm afraid to turn it on because I might get a strike.
Yeah, you'll get a strike. Go ahead and page down. There's a little bit more.
Okay, you guys can do it yourself. Okay, here you go. Oh wow, that's a not beautiful picture of Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus, I trust in you.
Jesus, I trust in you. There's the full armor of God, blessed place of righteousness, and feet and faith, and helmet of salvation, and cloak of faith, and the word, the sword of the word, or the testament. Yep. Mm-hmm. And a little bit more. Nothing can stop. It's like we saw executive orders. Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. Q plus. Donald J. Trump.
That's why I'm not sure it's Q plus. Okay. All right. So we're done with this. We have a few pictures from the 5G that Gene sent me, and I want you to know that this is not the bad one from Huawei, right? This is the good one, or is this?
This is the bad stuff.
This is the bad stuff. Okay. All right. So why is this? Okay. This is the bad stuff. Are they taking this out?
Yeah. And then you can actually have, without a big tower, they can just put it on a light pole. To get the sticks coming down. That's 5G. That's the Huawei stuff.
So they're ripping that all out now.
Yes.
So everyone doesn't have to freak out. And also the FEMA thing, they don't have to freak out about that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we did it. We got it all compiled into one show. Thank you so much. I can't even, there's so much information. I can't even think about what to put for the title. Gene Decode number 10. Okay. Maga, many are getting arrested. God, keep arrests going. Where we go on, we go all. And again, if you are going to come onto this channel and spew about Trump is controlled by FEMA, I'm going to block you, because I don't deal well with chickens with their head chopped off running around like that. That's a little much.
There's a great picture that was on Decode of the media, how they sit the social distancing when they're getting ready to talk to Trump, and they all had their hair on fire.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know which channels they find all this weird stuff, and then they come and spew, and it's like, you're presenting disinformation on my channel. I really don't appreciate it, because I'm very calm, you're very calm, and these people are all frantic, like, woo, what's going on? I'm like, you need to stop watching those channels. You have to pick the channels that you want to watch. But, you know, if you want to watch those channels, just don't come on mine, because I'm very happy to hide you forever, which means not just unsubscribe you, but hide you. You'll never find my channel.
That's what I do when I'm in a moderating for Rick. Somebody comes on and attacks POTUS or attacks Rick or me,
Right.
or says vulgarity or blasphemes God. I don't even give you a timeout. I give you a time gone. Permanent.
Yeah, right. It's just, they think they're really smart. Oh, I'll unsubscribe myself. I go, no, honey, I'm gonna hide you from the channel. You have to buy a new computer and have a new probably a new email to start to watch this again.
For those that think Trump's his son's the Antichrist and all of that, you need to understand the art of war. Read the book by Sun Tzu, The Art of War. That's how they're doing this.
Right. They're pretending to be weak, but they're really the strong ones. I know.
Yeah.
I'm Chinese. I know that. Okay, so thank you, Gene, for everything. We hope by next week, you will have your new MacBook laptop with your own keyboard. And thank you for all the people that donated again. And I'm so excited for him to get his own laptop. Thank you so much for being
here. Thank you to Kirsten to get the ball rolling. Oh my
gosh, Rick, you got to kind of push him.
Yeah.
So he's doing 20 things at one time, so it's a little. Yeah.
That's why he has like his job, and then he has all kinds of other things in the show, and he's doing backstage and front stage and cultural impact, and oh my goodness.
Oh my God, it's too much. He needs to cut down the cultural impact one because he doesn't have time for that. Okay.
Yeah.
I barely have time to delete the nasty comments on my.
And if you're gonna email me and make nasty comments or crazy, stupid questions, that you could do your own research first.
Correct.
But if you email me, now you have to put it in the subject line, what state you're in, or what country you're in, or what province if you're in Mexico or Canada, because my people that I'll route them to my coordinators in those different places.
Correct. Okay, so thank you so much. And Gene will be back next week, hopefully with his brand new laptop.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to Kirsten.
Okay, thanks to Rick. Okay, thank you to Gene. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Amen.
Amen.